Yo, what's good, people? Welcome to another episode of What's the Word with LJ Mentor podcast. And as always, I'm your host with the most, LJ Mentor. And as always, again, I appreciate you for joining me for another week, another episode of the podcast. What's the Word with LJ Mentor? Yeah, man, we're back at it again, and I know around the country in the U.S. Summer's coming to an end. And this whole year obviously has been crazy, but and I see you got a few listeners in other countries now, and I appreciate you for listening in Ireland and Australia. Appreciate you for tuning in, and hopefully more to come because I'm gonna keep hitting you with these episodes, keep giving you this positivity, and appreciate it every single week. But yeah, it's been wild and crazy, obviously this year, and it's been I'm out here in LA, right, and it was really a crazy ass heat wave over the weekend, or I guess record temperatures on Saturday and Sunday. I know in LA it got to be like over 108 degrees. In some other areas in the valley and the deserts, I want to say it was like 115 or something like that. So it was nuts, man. It was wild just to see them climbing temperatures like that. It's creeped over 100 before out here, but not that high. It was wild, and I was just up in here, so I'm happy I got AC now because I didn't have one before. But this year it's been wild, and yeah, because and this end of the summer means a couple things. Obviously, the weather changes in most of the country. In LA, it just get a little chillier at night, but during the day, it's always warm. They don't really got my people. I know in LA, I'm crazy. They talk about winter. I'm like, there's not no real winter in LA. I come from Buffalo, New York. We get tons of snow, and I'll never forget one time that my car was literally buried in snow. So ain't no real winter. It just get a little chilly out here in LA and at night, and it can creep temperatures a little low, but for the most part, it stays sunny. And another thing that means is football season about to start. Football season starts tomorrow, and I can't wait. I've been looking forward to it, and so yeah, that brings me to my word of the week, which is fall. The reason why it's fall is because, like I said, it's the end of the summer. Things obviously change as far as the weather around most of the country. You get less daylight during the day. I know it's starting to get dark earlier. Um, yeah, I think it's getting dark here about 6:30, about 7 p.m. now, and that means also the start of the football season. One of my favorite times. I used to say a joke, right? Back when I was back when I was living back east, and the girl I was with at the time. This for football season started. This is the time of the year where all the women hate their men on the world, and that was just a little a time, whatever. Because we know how it get. Not to knock the ladies at all, because you hold it down too, and there's some females that's into football just as much, if not more, than men. I remember I met a girl from Texas one time, and she knew more about football than I did. So I ain't knocking y'all at all, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this NFL season, the start of it, and doing it a little different this year. And people I know been asking me for a long time to join the fantasy league or whatever, and I never normally don't, but I'm gonna actually do it. So I ain't do it yet. I guess we're gonna do the draft later on tonight, and I'm also in this pick'em league. I've done that a few times before, so yeah, I still got to make my picks. So I'm gonna get into a little bit of that about this football season. So we haven't had. It's been a weird year, obviously, with COVID, and I think hopefully the NFL got the blueprint from more so baseball, MLB, more so than NBA basketball or NHL, because MLB does not have a bubble. they're still traveling to these cities, even though it's more regional. They're not really traveling across the country. I don't think for the most part anyway. So that's been more regional, but it's still that's something more to look at rather than the NBA season because they're actually still traveling and they're playing on open fields. It's not a closed vicinity like how they had in the NHL and NBA. So hopefully they got the blueprint. And apparently, I guess they only had one COVID test out of all the people on the staff and the players. I think don't quote me on that. I think it's just the players where they only had one COVID test. I'm not sure about the coaches and any other staff of the NFL, but I want to say it's just one COVID test, which is good. It means the players are being smart. They're taking care of themselves. I think the main thing for everybody is being responsible is not be nasty. Because, I mean, we all know it's some nasty-ass people out here like that don't like to wash their hands and didn't want you to shake their hands. No knock to you people that do that. I just can't do it. I got to wash my hands all the time. Even before COVID, I was doing that. But NFL season, kickoff Thursday night, 8:30 Eastern time, 5:30 Pacific. So I'm on Pacific time. That's one thing I loved when I knew that I would love when I moved out west. Is the games come on earlier here, like the night games. Like if I'm watching a Sunday night game, that's one thing I always loved about coming out here is the games come on earlier. I don't have to stay up super late to catch the end of the game, especially if there's a good game going on. So yeah, we about to get into that. And I was thinking about doing some predictions, but I still didn't even make my picks yet, so I'm not gonna fully get into that. But I'm gonna talk about the game tomorrow night. So you got the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champs. Patrick Mahomes got a new contract. Congrats to that brother. He deserved it. He's already a regular season MVP and a Super Bowl MVP. And he took, I guess his contract was structured in a way. He has a long, drawn-out contract, and it was structured to a point where his other players, some of his main key pieces on offense and defense get paid too. So he's looking out for them apparently, or how they have with the salary cap. So that's kudos to him, and he definitely deserves all that bread. The brother's a bad boy. So, and I was denying it for the longest time because I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan, being a Packer fan. I'm not from Green Bay, Wisconsin, but anybody that knows me well knows I grew up since I was a little boy being a Packers fan. Why? Is because mainly because when I was a kid, Brett Favre was a quarterback. I was a little kid at the time. Brett Favre was a quarterback, so I always loved the way he played. He had the strongest arm, and that boy was a beast. And sometimes he would make bonehead plays and throw a pick six, but Brett Favre, he was a gamer. He was a baller. So Brett Favre definitely knew how to play, and he was my favorite player growing up. And I also loved on the defensive side Reggie White, and I know Donald Driver. He was one of my favorite receivers too. He came a little, I think, drafted in '97, I want to say. But yeah, he was one of my favorite players. But I was hating on. I wasn't. A lot of people were saying after 2018, Patrick Mahomes is the best. He's better than Aaron Rodgers, and that he should be. And I was denying it all 2019, but truthfully, the man is the best. I can't deny it no more. Right now, he's better than Aaron Rodgers. He is. Now, I think Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but I'm going to just focus on this game with Patrick. Let me just focus on Patrick Mahomes right now and big him up. But it took me a while, but Patrick Mahomes, I knew he was great after 2018, but when people were saying he was the best, that's what I was disputing. There's no denying it. And he got possibly the best coach in the league, Andy Reid. I was always saying he was the greatest coach without a ring. I can't say that no more. He got a ring now. He probably gonna get at least a couple more. And I think somebody else got paid on the Chiefs too. I forgot who, but so they still got a lot of players in place. They got Travis Kelce still. They got Tyreek Hill, who's the major deep threat. Sammy Watkins. So yeah, they got some ballers on offense, and I know they Honey Badger and on the defensive end, safety. So overall, I think the Chiefs gonna be all right again. I honestly think I know a lot of people picking Baltimore to get to the bowl, um, but I actually think the Chiefs gonna get back to the Super Bowl. I don't think because when you look at it, Baltimore has not beaten. Lamar Jackson has never beaten Patrick Mahomes, so that's another thing to look at. Uh, with this game tomorrow night, we got the Chiefs versus the Texans, and I'm just really the longest time I was thinking of taking the upset because last time these two teams played was in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs back in January of this year, and the Texans had them down. I think what was it, 24-0 at one point, and in the second half, damn, it was fucking history. These motherfucking Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, these dudes put up 50 plus points unanswered. So that's crazy that you be down 24. And that's another thing too. The Chiefs were trailing by double digits in every game in the playoffs, and they won every single one. So that's crazy. For that something like that to happen. So uh, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm strongly think I was really contemplating up until probably earlier today of taking the upset. The Texans and the Chiefs because they got embarrassed really badly. They had them down. They had them shook. They had them. And honestly, I think I'm going to take the Texans just for this game based off of that alone because they had them. I think the Texans, um, they obviously lost one of their key pieces on offense, the DeAndre Hopkins, and it's kind of hard to replace somebody who's that talented on the outside, wide out. So, but yeah, I could be wrong, but something that's, I really want to take this upset because of simply just because of that, because they got beat really badly last year in the playoffs by them. And I don't think the Chiefs are going to put up 51 points on the Texans. I think it'll be close. I think it'll probably be in the 30s or something. It may be close to like 31-27, something like that. I don't think there's going to be no blowout in this game. I don't. But I think they're going to keep it close, and I think I'm going to take the upset just in this game. I still think the Chiefs are going to get to the Super Bowl, but this week, I think the Texans I really think the Texans are going to take this game. I know they lost DeAndre Hopkins. I know the coach isn't the greatest. I believe in Deshaun Jackson, who's another guy that got paid. I think earlier this week got his contract. He deserved it too. He been working with. He hasn't been working with a whole lot. Granted, he had one of the best receivers in D Hop, which is now gone. But Deshaun Watson is definitely one of the top quarterbacks. I would say top 5, top 6, top 7. Yeah, I would say top 5. Deshaun Watson is definitely one of the top quarterbacks. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Texans for this game. A lot of y'all probably think I'm crazy as hell. Like, why you really think the Texans gonna win? I'm just taking them this week because I'm looking at how badly they were beaten last year, and overall, the Chiefs' defense, it wasn't that great in the beginning of the year. Last year, they started to pick up in the second half of the season, but the first half they weren't that great. So I could easily see them being relaxed and not that great. And they lost a few home games too. So let's not act like Patrick Mahomes is unbeatable at home because he's not. Um, so I think I'm gonna take the upset. I gotta look at the line though. I know the Chiefs' favorite. I forgot the line. I gotta see how big this line is real quick. I might change my pick. I got to 9 points. The Chiefs is 9-point favorites. Whew. Yeah. Okay. 9 points. Yeah. I think the Chiefs or like I said, the Texans are gonna keep it close. That's a big spread. I don't see the Chiefs blowing them out again, even if they do win. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the upset. So still, um, and getting into the rest of the teams, I think it's gonna be interesting to see. I don't know how this is gonna look. I think some stadiums are gonna have fans, some aren't. Um, and getting into some other games, the big matchups. I know you got the Bucks and Saints. That's gonna be a good one. Tom Brady going to the NFC with the Buccaneers, Drew and versus Drew Brees and the Saints. That's gonna be a really good game to watch. And I think Sunday, yeah, it's gonna be some great matchups. And Dallas going to the LA Rams in that new stadium. It's crazy. They got to open up a new stadium during COVID, but we still got to do what we got to do. So that's what they doing, keeping it pushing, taking all the necessary precautions, but still keeping the shit moving. And I respect it. So, and also with my team, the Packers, right? They play the Minnesota Vikings. That's an early game on Sunday. I think we're gonna take it. I think Minnesota's at home, but we swept them last year in the series in both games. We beat them twice, and I don't see that changing because I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. I do believe in Dalvin Cook, but overall, I don't trust Kirk Cousins. I don't, and I trust Aaron Rodgers. And speaking on Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to play with a heavy chip on his shoulder. Um, but when I heard him talk in interviews this year, like he know what's up because he was in the same boat when he was drafted with Brett Favre. Brett Favre acting like he wants to retire and then last minute say, "Oh, I want to play again." So Aaron Rodgers and that he know what's up, but I think he's still gonna. But I think the fact that there was not one wide receiver drafted this year, that's the major problem. And we drafted a running back, which I don't really get because we already have two backs that are really good and they're still young. So I didn't really get that. So but not one wide receiver, my dude. I don't get it. What's up, LaFleur? I don't get it, bro. But I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna be really fueled this year. Man, I think has had a chip on his shoulder. I think he really going. I think he gonna have not just a chip on his shoulder. He gonna have some bricks on his shoulder, like something crazy. Like I think he gonna play with a lot of fire this year, and he gonna be nice this year. So look out, watch out for that dude. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna be a beast this year. So we gonna see. Um, so yeah, I spent a lot of time. It's not completely a sports show, but like I said, the word of the week is fall, and we get into one of my favorite topics, which is football, specifically the NFL, and just wanted to touch base on that. So a couple other things I want to get into real quick. Um, New music, right quick. New music. So last Friday we had Big Sean drop the album, and the Locks dropped the album the week before that, and I think both of those albums are really, really dope. And with the Locks, I love the storytelling, especially one of my favorite records on there, The Story, where they talk about, I guess, Styles P, member of the Locks. They telling a story like he getting kidnapped, and Sheik Luch basically saying he got a picture sent to him with Sheik Luch, or I'm sorry, of Styles from somebody, and he's like, "Yeah, you playing?" And then apparently sent another picture with a gun on his waist or whatever. So him and Jadakiss go on this wild goose chase, saying looking for Styles P, saying like they Jadakiss saying like they got arsenal to get you 100 years, and then come to find out it's a big joke that Styles P played, and they was videotaping the whole time. But the story itself is dope. I know Jadakiss and Styles P, if you know their history, they great at going back and forth, and they both great at storytelling. So that's probably my favorite record on the album. Um, But overall, I love the album. I've always messed with the Locks, Jadakiss. It's hard for me to decide who's better, Jadakiss or Styles P. I love both of them. Um, but Jadakiss definitely always been one of my favorites. And yeah, that album is pretty amazing. Um, got a few features on there. They brought back DMX. I think the first single was About Shit, DMX on it. So that's basically like a bringing back the Rough Riders. That would have been cool if they would have got Evil in there too on that record or another one. So that would have been kind of like how Nas did with the Full Circle, getting the firm back together. So that would have been dope to see like Rough Riders coming all the way back full circle. But in fact, yeah, they got DMX on there, and that was dope. So yeah, the album was pretty good. You should go listen to it. As far as Big Sean album, he when I listen to it, he's really reflecting on this album. He's showing himself that he's vulnerable. He thought saying how he thought about suicide before, and how I guess he had issues with his heart. He was diagnosed with a heart condition at 19 years old. Um, so he Big Sean is really revealing on this album, revealing some really serious stuff about his life in this album, which is some crazy stuff. But some people might outside looking in might think, oh, he's rich, he's successful, he got Janae Aiko or whatever like that. But you just, no matter how successful you are, what you got going on, that don't mean you ain't going through nothing. That do not mean that. You have no idea what some people may be going through. Like seriously, it's real out here. So I don't know how long Big Sean has been contemplating what he has, but obviously, I think this might be the first time he revealed that he had a heart condition. He was diagnosed with that. Say he went to holistic doctors, and they didn't tell him anything. Then he went to another doctor, and then tried to go back. And but it's a good album though. Because I think he's spitting. He got Nipsey on there. And this sounds like the Nipsey verse. I don't know if he wanted to go back and add something to it, but it don't seem like it's complete. I love the bars from Nipsey. I love hearing it on there, but it don't seem like it's complete when I hear the record. Um, I could be completely wrong on that. But either way, I love the song Deep Reverence, Big Sean and Nipsey. It's a great record. Um, but yeah, and I love the stories also about how he had people on there on the skits. He had Dave Chappelle on the skits on there. He had Erica Badu. He had a few people. His album called Detroit too. I remember on the first Detroit when he had some skits on there, so that was good. I like that from the first one, and that's kind of dope that he brought that back. I remember on the first one he had Snoop, he had Jeezy tell stories about meeting him in Detroit, and he brought back the same kind of deal with this one, Detroit too. So seeing that was pretty dope, and I loved it. Overall, it's a good album. And it's real reflective. I don't think I've ever heard Big Sean really speak on the issues he spoke about on this album. And this is a big conversation going on about mental health, which has been absent for many years in the Black community. And it's good that a lot of us are reflecting on that now. So yeah, to see that is dope. So I like that. And so yeah. But yeah, it was a great album. And yeah, I think you should go listen to both of those songs. Both of those albums, Big Sean and the Locks. Both of those albums are dope. I mean, these last 2 months so far it's been pretty good as far as like music has been dropping. Um, Early on in the year, it wasn't too much stuff that I would consider like really dope, but I think between Davies, Nas, Locks, Big Sean, all those albums are pretty dope. And Vic Mensa dropped an 8-track project to it that was pretty good. Um, But yeah, it was pretty good hearing all that music. Now, the last topic I want to get into, which is interesting. I think it's a really interesting discussion between Candace Owens versus Cardi B. I don't really like to normally go into like no social media wars or whatever because that ain't really no real beef and it's kind of horny, but it's not even a beef. I think it's at the end of the day, it's someone pointing out something that's they don't see as right, and they just being brutally honest about it. And overall, I don't agree with Candace Owens' overall ideology at any means, but be perfectly honest, I think she made some really great points about the Cardi B. What I'm referring to is I guess she did an interview addressing Joe Biden, her and Cardi B and Joe Biden, and she said that she's the wrong person and it's an insult to Black America that Cardi B was the one to interview Joe Biden. And to be perfectly honest, I like Cardi B music, but I don't disagree with that at all. I don't think Cardi B should have been the one to speak for Black people, for Joe Biden. And she also said, Candace Owens said that Joe Biden is really thinks Black people are stupid. At the end of the day, by doing that, and she said that you could have interviewed anybody from Democrat, Republican, from anywhere else. There's way more intelligent individuals out there that could have done that interview. And to be perfectly honest, I agree because at the end of the day, like you could, and she got trashed for I think because of who she is, because she said some off the wall stuff, and I do not agree with her what she said about George Floyd at all. Like I think it's tone deaf, and when she spoke about George Floyd, it seems like she's purposely trying to deflect from the real issue by basically saying that George Floyd tried to paint him as a bad human being, saying he had all type of drugs in the system. So that if you really have to justify unarmed black man who was not trying to fight the police at all, was not threatening in any manner to the police, kneel his neck, put his literal knee on this man George Floyd's neck for over 8 minutes. If you have to justify that, then there's something really wrong with you. I'm sorry. So that's where me and her differ. And she has a few other things that I don't really care for that she's discussed in the past. But yeah, that's one of the major things too. But I just wanted to point out that you can agree with somebody said, regardless of their affiliation, regardless of what they said in the past. I think they can still make good points. So I know a lot of people are extreme on one side or extreme the other. Like I'm not Democrat or Republican. I just like truth and honesty. I respect honesty and want somebody that care about people. And I don't know if Candace Owens cares about people outside of her family or not. I have no idea. But what she said about Cardi B is true. I think it is an insult to Black America. And I don't think Joe Biden wants to be asked tough questions. You can see how he was when he went on a Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God. He controlled the complete interview. He didn't really let Charlamagne really ask any real questions. He spoke before Charlamagne could get any questions out. Now, Charlamagne would have been a great person to have a real interview with Joe Biden because I know Charlamagne will have some real demands and real things because we gotta be on their ass regardless of who is in the White House. We can't just be out here lollygagging thinking, oh, you like whoever's in office and just that be okay. If you don't have any real demands, then what are you really doing? If you don't have any real concerns on what you want to happen, then what are you doing? But yeah, as far as the Cardi B interview, like I said, I don't agree with Candace Owens' overall ideology, but I think she made some very right points about Cardi B. And she also called her an illiterate rapper and that she didn't know what she's talking about. She pretty did ask some illiterate questions, but or I'm sorry, she said she wants lower taxes and she wants free healthcare for all. That's obviously not how that works. And Joe Biden's, if you listen to him, he's basically chalking it up, saying, "Yeah, I'm going to take care of that. Yeah, I'm going to take care of that." So, yeah, I don't think, like I said before on a previous episode, like I'm not knocking Cardi B. Like, I think she's a dope artist. Nobody's ever confused her for an extreme lyricist, but that's not what this argument is about. And one thing I didn't like about what Candace Owens said is she tried to, and how they did on Fox News is they, just because she made a song WAP, the song WAP, to try and say, oh, because that's one song does not define who somebody is. And to be perfectly honest, WAP is how all of us got into this world, if you want to be real. That's how if we want to have a real conversation, that's how we all got here. So, I'm not gonna get into all WAP, but if you ain't heard the song, go listen to that song WAP. I'm not gonna get into the abbreviation what it stands for, but if you want to listen to it, if you haven't, go listen to it. WAP is the reason why every person on this planet got here. Okay, so, but that song does not define who somebody is, and I don't get why that song is such a trigger for certain people. And I already spoke about that, but I just didn't really like that point she went from with Candace Owens from Cardi B and the other person from Fox News that she was speaking to. But overall, I think she's right. We can't just be out here. And Hillary did the same thing, trying to insult black people's intelligence, like they're trying to say we stupid. But we know damn well that we're not. We have some very intelligent and articulate individuals in the black community. So many that Joe Biden could have sat down with, and even if he would have sat down with somebody from the hip hop community, I really believe the best option would have been Killer Mike. I really believe that. But Joe Biden obviously sat down with somebody who got 80 million, close to 80 million followers on Instagram. She's like the hottest female artist, maybe the hottest artist right now. So I was thinking, yeah, if I sit down with her, that's the cool factor, right? But nah, bro. If you're gonna sit down with somebody from the hip hop community, since Tupac is not here, since he's passed away, I really believe the best option would have been Killer Mike. And another thing, Candace Owens, you got that smoke for Cardi B acting like you said she's illiterate, but you did not have that same smoke for T.I. and Killer Mike when you was on that summit, because you know they have real talking points and they have real policies they want to pass and they have real issues that they want to address. So yeah, you didn't have that same smoke for T.I. and Killer Mike, and you still never answered T.I.'s question from the Revolt Summit when he asked you what period in America was great. When was America great? You stumbled. You tried to deflect, and you never actually answered the question. When was America great for Black people? Answer was never. Yes, don't confuse some Black people being successful for America being great for Black people, because even LeBron James, his home in LA, some white person vandalized his home and put Nigger on his home. So no matter how rich you are, to some of these white folks, I'm just gonna say it one time. Some of these white folks, you still a nigga. So at the end of the day, we still got issues we got to address. We have gotten better. And I was having this conversation over the weekend as far as getting better, what your legacy should be. But yeah, I think overall, every generation is supposed to get better. And we have come a long way, but we got a long way to go. So I don't know. So yeah, the day we gotta together out here. We gotta do better. We gotta strategize, have a plan to make things happen, and let's keep pushing. So that's it for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this NFL season. I can't wait. I hope it goes all the way through. Hopefully it's not a huge outbreak. I'm not going to hold my breath on that. So hopefully this season go all the way through. I'm looking forward to it. This has been another episode of the What's the World LJ Mentor Podcast. I'm your host with the most, LJ, and I'm out.